Look what Brian gets in it. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us to use this wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in thy holy name. Amen. We'll salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just thought about something. I don't know if my heart's still in the same spot.
It's still there. John, as long as you still got one.
I'm not so sure about that.
It's working.
You can't trust them.
You don't know what they did inside.
You know
right?
what they do.
Okay. No, we missed nothing tonight here. I would like a motion to approve the May 9th regular board meeting minutes.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on the May 9th regular board meeting? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We also had a special meeting on May 18th. I'd like to have those approved, if that's the desire of the board.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 18th special meeting.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions on the May 18th board minutes? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain, please. I didn't attend.
Thank you. That passed. Town clerk's monthly report.
I'd like to make a motion we approve the town clerk's monthly report. As usual, it's a good job.
I'd like to second that. Thank you. Any questions on the town clerk's monthly report? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. You have both your zoning board and planning board minutes. They're for information only. Please do read them. They're interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
EMS report, a little more detailed. Clark, you spoke to me about this the other day, I believe.
Is this satisfactory?
Well,
You
it's-
see everything there that you like, or you want to see some more
Thought
stuff?
you did a good job on that part.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's just a
It's
matter
more
of,
detailed.
Juanita works in the village office, currently knows who
Yes.
has the data, and just,
Which is it in?
which is-
No, we thank them for that.
Okay,
that's
I'll
strictly for
I'll pass the
information.
word back, they're doing a great
Okay.
job.
You got your dog control officer's report also. It's strictly for information. Fairly busy. A letter from Barton Judas, engineering firm out of Syracuse. They wanted us to know that they opened an office in Watertown. Strictly for information. They've done some work here in this area. They did to my knowledge, they did the closing of the landfill up here years ago. Okay. And they're telling us about some new employee they have there.
Kind of like Colin Cooper.
Thank you. I did get a letter from the Teamsters local union wishing to open negotiations for their employees, our employees, their members, and that is going to be starting very soon. We've been in contact. That's strictly for information also. The next one is PERMA. It says, congratulations, in your last completed policy year, you had no workers' compensation claims. Good news. Strictly for information. And good to get. Now this next one is fairly complicated, let's put it that way. I really need the court system, Department of Public Safety and Security Assessments for the town of Champlain Court. They sent a representative in here and telling us some things that we should upgrade in the coming months in the village, the court, excuse me, the town courtrooms. Okay? I did read it over. Some of these things are fairly easy to do, some are a little more complicated. I'm assuming we're gonna have to start doing at least some of them. Probably all of them in due time, but please read them over. This was new to me, I came in. Okay? So, I probably would just ask for a motion to receive, that we received it and it'll be under consideration. Would that be proper?
Also move.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Kevin came to the board, Larry and I went there, and he was worried about the court system and our security. And I said, well, what would you like us to do about that? And he said they had this company that Larry and I talked about. They come in and they assessed us, and there was only 4 really larger items, which of course the lights in the parking lot. They'd like to have the chairs in the courtroom bolted down, which they have in the other courtrooms. A couple of other little issues, nothing really big. As far as the lights in the parking lot, Larry and I spoke about it the other day. You know, we got the old-fashioned lights out here. If we replace them, we put LEDs in. That'll save the town money anyway. That'll be a step forward. As far as the chairs in there, it actually said we could tie them together attach them together with actually heavier nylon straps like they use in the prison system for things. Zip ties. And then, a couple of, what else, Brian? There's 2 of those things there.
You were talking about relocating Janice's window?
Yes, and the other thing they said that was getting these little deals they put around their neck, and in case there's a problem, they can push them, which we're going to check with our, our people to see if that's possible through the system that we have. But there was nothing, we weren't doing anything wrong. This is just mostly updates for the court. And I just feel that as soon as something comes up, we'll get a motion on the floor to pay for whatever it is. It's not going to, seriously, it's in the building thing, it's not going to be a big deal anyway. But it definitely has to be done. We have to meet code, or what you would like to call it.
You know, most of these are not a lot of money, let's put it that way. Okay, so we will be looking at forward doing some of those in the near future. Remember last month we had some people visit us from Maple Hill Cemetery, and we had talked about a possible solution to the problem. And our attorney at that time wanted to review the water contract, which he did. He spent about a half an hour here last week, one day. And he is agreeable to the solution that we thought would work last time, and the people that were here also agreed to. That is to reduce cemeteries to 1/10 of an EDU instead of a half an EDU. Okay? And to my knowledge, there's 2 cemeteries that we should do that for. We gotta do it for both or none, my book. This is not going back and reimbursing anybody for what's already been paid. This is from this day forward. Okay? So some thoughts, ideas?
So at this point, we're just talking about the one cemetery.
Well, there's 2, there's another one, Maple Hill, as well as the Catholic Cemetery on Church Street has also been paid. Okay?
Cemetery on Church Street, though, I think they have water.
No, I don't believe so, Steve. Right.
Not they do.
Where would they have water there?
Just for watering the lawn or watering plants.
Not to my knowledge, I
I don't know,
I don't think so.
I may be wrong.
Our line goes by, and that's where the bulbs before, where we had the meters in. I didn't see any cutoffs into the cemetery.
To my knowledge.
I'll check with Mike on that.
Pending.
System that they got there that's hidden somewhere that I never saw no water.
Why don't they, if that's what we want to do, just let's base it on.
For those that
If
don't
they
get
don't
water.
have, for those that don't have water, cemeteries without water, if you based it.
Would you like to word a motion for me?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that effective immediately, that any cemetery without not taking the water
Do not get
be
water.
assessed 1/10 of an EDU charge per year.
I'll second that.
From this time forward.
From this time forward.
It's not good. The previous bills, because they didn't
No,
they didn't come up to
they
talk to us
understand.
about it when we were setting this
They
thing up,
understand.
they're gonna have to pay.
Okay.
They came in today and paid it.
What was that, Jimmy?
They came in today and paid it.
Maple Hill?
Yeah,
Okay.
we paid
Thank
that.
you. Did not know that. Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions? I'm looking around the room, I sense a question coming.
No, I'm fine.
Okay?
I think John had already seconded, that's the only reason
Okay, that's fine.
I, so you got 2 seconds.
Okay, that's fine. If there's no questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. Julie, will you get a letter off of them, please? Or at least a note in the next bill or something? I did call Melissa, the one that was here last month, and told her what the attorney thought we should do. And that would be the action I expected that would be taken tonight. Anything different, I'd let her know. So tomorrow I will call her either way, tell her it's not an issue no longer, okay? On the table tonight, we had a proposed contract from Jackie Keller's office. An attorney to help us negotiate our union contract. I would like a motion to approve, if that's the will of the board. Experienced contract, negotiators are getting slim in the area. You go to Albany and Syracuse, they're not around here so much. Anyways, any thoughts before I ask for a motion?
She's worked with us before.
No, she has not.
Steve will still be on the committee with whoever we asked to help us out, right?
Yeah, well, Steve and I thought, we talked a few months ago that Steve would still want to serve.
Yes.
If somebody wants to sit in other than me, I have no problem there either. Okay, but it should be 2 of us, we can't have to be 3 of us. Okay? And we gotta get our thoughts together, and we'll talk about that later. Uh,
Just for the learning experience, if you need somebody to be there, I would come in.
Okay.
But again, I don't want to go through
That was one there. Any thoughts? I'm listening.
Are the usual, there'd be a lot of expenses, travel, mileage, I didn't,
It tells in here, I didn't see travel.
I didn't see that either, which is good, but photocopying, telephone calls, faxes.
You ain't gonna get much of that, if any. Long distance calls I see are extra. There's none here, I mean, that's,
Do you get a sense that it's going to be protracted, like it has in other towns, or?
Plattsburgh settled in one night, one evening I was told.
Okay.
Right now, 2 towns, I'll name them, I can tell you later, are under an impasse, so they went for mediation. She's working with both of them. She will get with me the next few days, she tells me, and tell me what the average settlements are in the area and all that stuff, okay? Then we've got to have some parameters to go by, okay? We've got to talk together. But I guess the issue tonight is this the person that we're going to hire? Yeah, you know where I know her from, the other job, the other board I'm on. She's done an excellent job. You know her at all, Steve?
Not, no, I know the name, that's it.
Okay, very bright, fine person. Very bright. So on the board,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
What have you used in the past?
pardon?
What have you used in the past?
The one that we used in the past lived in Plattsburgh, or Katyville, moved to Albany, Saratoga area.
Okay.
She's now working for 2 different BOSI's districts, Albany and Plattsburgh BOSI's, the capital district BOSI's. And she goes all the way down to Poughkeepsie and further south. And it would be logistically impossible. We had it the first time I was here, 12 years ago, a guy out of Syracuse did it once or twice here. And he flat out told us it just wasn't worth coming 250 miles to negotiate. That's a long drive. It's 5 hours each way roughly.
It's hard to tell how long it'll last. So,
Yeah.
Not
Anyways,
yet.
so who's out there? No? Hi. So, did I have a motion?
I made a motion.
I thank you.
Is there a motion in a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you. This gentleman, you don't,
Shannon, right?
Yes.
from,
You're here to talk about the cemetery.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
all over with.
Yeah.
I did call Melissa early on, a day or two ago.
Okay.
I had to make yesterday. Yeah, maybe last night.
No, you're.
But anyways,
You're from Perry's Mills, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a different cemetery than we're talking about.
oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm actually here about the cemetery that's on Creek Road on Perry Mills.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did,
Oh.
we had another issue with another cemetery.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
go ahead.
I came to see if I could get permission from you guys, since you have the, you guys have the power over that cemetery. I run a group on, it's called the Broken Stones Project. We find abandoned cemeteries that need to be cleaned up, per se. And since I live on Creek Road, and the Perry Mill Cemetery is right down the road from me, I took my daughter there last year, and after we were looking at the tombstones and whatever have you, we found 21 tombstones that have been discarded over the edge of the cemetery, down the embankment along the Shazy River. And she asked me why they were there. Obviously, what am I gonna tell her? She's 6 years old, so I said, you know, I don't know how they got there, but what we do, I have myself, and there's 11 of us. There's well, they're friends of mine, really. What we wanna do is we wanna bring those stones up from that embankment, because they shouldn't be down there. I did some research on, well, the whole cemetery itself. In 1941, a cemetery assessment was done by Hugh, and I can never say his name right, McLean, I think,
Yeah.
and his son, Charles Woodbury.
Yes, I knew him.
Yes, and in 1941, there was 86 stones listed and 126 persons buried in the cemetery. Obviously, there's probably still 126, maybe a few more since then.
One more went in recently.
Yeah, Eddie.
Yes,
Yes.
Eddie.
And I went there and I did a cemetery stone count, took pictures, I did all that stuff. And there were actually 116 stones now, plus the 21 that are still over the edge. And I looked here, I came here last week and then last month, and I looked at the book that you have here of the cemeteries, and it doesn't show like the plots of where these people are, so we would have no idea where these stones would go, per se. But in that cemetery, 23 families are represented, and they're all pretty much in their own little section. So some of them, there's Whipples in there, there's Perry's in there, there's, I have actually all of them listed here. I was supposed to give you guys a printout, but today's been a crazy day and I forgot to do that, so. But I'd just like to get some people so we can bring those stones up. There's one stone that's in the river. And it wouldn't cost you guys anything. We would do it ourselves just to do it. I just think it's something respectable to do. Plus in that cemetery, there's two people that are buried there. There's Eli Carto, who fought in the Civil War. He died, he enlisted when he was 16 years old in the Civil War. He left Plattsburgh and he was in Virginia. He died at Fairfax County Courthouse in Virginia in 1859, I believe. March the 7th of 1859, actually, at 18 years old.
That's before the Civil War.
Well, I don't know, maybe I have it written wrong.
Okay.
He had a brother, Elizor, I'm probably saying it wrong, but he mustered in with him in Plattsburgh on the same day, which was December the 28th is when they mustered in. And he went down to Virginia as well. He's not buried in that cemetery, he's actually buried in Massachusetts. But he was one of the 26 enlisted men who helped capture John Wilkes Booth and Harold in the tobacco barn in Port Royal, Virginia. which I thought was kind of neat. Him and his brother were, you know, from this area, which is pretty awesome. They both took part in the Pennsylvania campaign, June and July of 1863. And Eli died, he died March the 7th of 18, it says 1865.
I have a list at home of 2 books of all the Civil War veterans from Clinton County. Have you seen those?
No, the only thing that I saw on his tombstone, he's on his family's tombstone there, there's a little yellow sticker that says Civil War veteran next to his name.
I have a book, I bought 2 books, 2
Okay.
different volumes of the same. I got them through Clinton County Historical Association,
Okay,
of all the people from Clinton County, and it's extensive,
Okay.
that fought in the Civil War,
right,
and where they're buried,
okay,
as far as I know.
okay.
If that would be of help to you.
Well, it would be, definitely. There's also one other guy, Thomas Whipple, he was in the War of 1812. His stone is still standing, it's in the back right-hand corner, all the way in the back. I mean, it's kind of hung over a little bit, but he was in the War of 1812, and there's not anything there that says he's a veteran or anything like that. I did do a lot of research online, and I found all of the original military documents per se. I have an Ancestry.com account, so I found a lot of stuff on there for these guys. I spoke with my cousin, his name's Joe Chanelli. He is the national director for AMVETS. He lives in DC, and he said that if we were granted permission to do this, he would push all he could do to get a couple of stones from the VA with these people's names on it as remembrance stones or whatever have you, whatever we could put there. It wouldn't be a cost to anyone else other than getting the stones there. I definitely would like to look at that book with the Civil War stuff. I think that would be very interesting. And I did go through this past week. I took the original records from 1941 and I wrote down all of the people's names that were the stones for the cemetery in 1941. Then I went there the other day, took a bunch of pictures, and I went through the whole cemetery and I found all of the people. I put check marks in my book here of all the stones that are there now, that were there in 1941. And there's actually 22 stones that are missing. And 21 of them we found over that embankment, so.
The Feinberg Library, have you been there?
No.
At SUNY Placer,
No,
has extensive archives.
okay,
Okay. A lot of Woody McCollum's work is done down there too. They've got that on hand down there.
that'd be nice to see too.
Okay. If you let me know when you can come in someday, I'll bring those books in.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, and this is admirable what you're doing, but what's the process for restoring those stones that are over the bank?
Well, there are, there's only 2 of the stones that are over that bank that are broken, that I can tell. One of them is a big stone, and it's at an angle, it's cracked at an angle. And so that's just the top half of it. I don't have any idea where the bottom half is, because I haven't really dug around back there or anything. I mean, we just looked at for the stuff
There's
that
some
was laying
stones in
there.
there that are half broke.
Yeah,
The bottom half is still intact to the ground.
Right.
Maybe that was thrown over.
Yeah,
The top half was thrown over the bank.
yeah,
We had a cemetery done 4 or 5 years ago now by a Boy Scout. Did a little cemetery, I believe with only 7 stones in it. to
Seven.
put in. And
was that was in Honey Moore's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I did see that.
Did you notice how he set the stones back in cement? He actually built a trough, I would call it,
Right,
maybe like a 2x6 or 2x8 or something. Dug down a little bit in the ground, set that in, full of cement, and stuck the stone in it.
stuck the stone right there.
Not too far,
Right.
because a lot of those are set, and especially the flat stones,
Right,
you know, they weren't a real good stone quality.
no, they're
Okay.
not, yeah,
They weren't marble or
Right.
granite, you know,
right,
so they broke quite easily, and he repaired some of them, and if you only could see how he repaired them. You take the 2 halves and drill holes in both of them, put a rod in them,
right.
you know.
So Shannon, what would you like the town to do for you on this project?
Well, I just, I want permission, I didn't wanna just go and do it, cause, I didn't want to get in trouble, you know what I mean? I didn't want somebody to think I was vandalizing or something like that. I just wanted to take it the right way. It's, obviously it's not my property, so I wasn't just gonna go do it.
Well, see, there is the problem with the cemetery. You researched back in there and we couldn't find, because we're supposed, all these abandoned cemeteries, the town is supposed to assume responsibility for. In order for us to turn it over to get paid back from the state, because we'd like to do that, is nobody can figure out who owns the cemetery and who you would contact. It's illegally abandoned, and we've been through all this for quite a while. So, and I understand you're asking permission to do this, but the legalities of the thing or something else. If you don't mind, I'd like to check with our town lawyer. If something happens to someone that's on there, they break their back or something, doing something like that, we might be responsible. It's a town, we just can't afford to be involved in that. I'll tell you what we'd like to do, I'll get the board members here, and we'll petition our lawyer to give us some kind of a legal opinion about this.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's a wonderful idea, I'd love to see it done, but you still have to realize that the town has liabilities, and unless we act on a legal counsel, we really can't give you permission unless we act on legal counsel,
Okay,
okay?
yeah.
And what we'll do after the meeting, we'll have Jane send a letter to our lawyer and see where we're sitting on that.
Okay, would it be helpful if, you know, myself and my volunteers, you know, signed a waiver?
Yes,
You know,
we've done that
kind of thing?
before, but if somebody gets hurt, they always sue anyway.
Oh, well.
I think a formal letter to the board about your intentions that we could pass along to,
Our lawyer would be
you
great.
know,
Okay, I can
the
do that.
insurance company.
I do have one written up, it's on my computer, today's been a crazy day, just got out of work, so.
Can you just forward it to Jane here?
I can do that,
The
yeah.
town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll give it to our lawyer, and we'll let you know right away where we're sitting on this, but this board can't make a decision without legal counsel.
Okay.
I do think everybody here
Oh, we're all
support
on
it.
board.
Yeah,
No doubt
we all
about it.
support the
Right,
idea.
no, I understand.
I mean, Alan was talking, the Schutt Cemetery is, you know, what do you do with it? The stones.
We got another cemetery across town, the same thing.
Yeah, there's
And it's-
another one too, right on the corner of Dubois and Cardan. It's right in the
Yes.
middle of a field. And
A Boy Scout leader, I spoke to him 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay,
They have a youngster coming up through, needs an Eagle Scout project.
gotcha.
And he told me he'd get back to me in a year or so.
Okay,
Because that, Honeymoore's Corners was done on a Boy Scout project.
gotcha, right,
They did it really, really well.
right.
And we had, the Water Cemetery was also a Boy Scout project 20 years ago or more. Okay, and that's a good size, a decent size.
And
Right,
you see when the Boy Scouts do it, they're backed by Boy Scouts Council Insurance because it's a Boy Scout project.
gotcha,
Because that got us off the hook, and that's why we allowed that.
gotcha.
But this is a whole different
This is a whole different ball of
whole
wax.
wax.
I gotcha, okay.
Shannon, you mentioned you have 11 people in your group.
Yeah,
Is it just local cemeteries you're looking for, or other areas in the North Country?
right now it's just kind of local.
Okay.
I was in Moores yesterday, looking at the old town cemetery in Moores. Kind of found the same kind of scenario, you know, a lot of busted stones and things like that, but I did find a big pile of stones too in the woods, with people's names on them, and, you know, they shouldn't be there, but right now it's just kind of a local thing. I don't know, you know, I mean, I have, a couple of people that are from out of state, you know, especially my cousin's been a big help in, a lot of different information on veterans and military stuff and all that jazz, but I don't know if we're gonna, you know, venture out, I don't know, right now.
I
this
do
is-
know of another cemetery that's located in another town. I can share it with you if you want to.
Yeah, I would love to investigate them all, you know, just look at them, talk with people and, you know, whatever have you. I mean, there's a lot of them in our area, I mean, there's the, you know, there's the Fry Clark, stone that's in the middle of the boonies, off the end of, the other side of Creek Road. And that's just in the woods, and I mean, it's just a big stone, but, you know, I mean, his wife, he actually had 2 wives, they were buried in the Perry Mill Cemetery, and he was buried out there. And then there's, on Roxham Road, there's a stone in the middle of, there's a horse ranch on the right-hand side, and there's a stone sitting right in their field. And I believe it's for Elizabeth Stevenson. She was 18 years old. She was murdered when she was 18 in 1832. And her stone's just sitting in the middle of this guy's field. He didn't even know it was there. I found it in the records, and I went to him last year, and I said, you know, I think there's a stone on your property. And he took me out there, and he had his horses and all that there. He didn't even know it was there. It was under a bunch of underbrush, and he cleaned it up, and he actually moved his horses now, so they're not in that area, you know, so.
No, stone was still
Stone's
visible?
still there, yeah. Says her name right on it, yeah. It was under a bunch of stuff, but it's still there, just one little stone. Her parents, I think they're buried actually in Plattsburgh.
It's not uncommon, a couple hundred years ago, to be buried on family plots.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, family land.
Well, you know, we certainly appreciate your interest.
Well, I thank you guys for,
Definitely.
definitely.
It's very admirable.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
I gotta teach my little lady something. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll get that letter,
yeah, bring the
I'll bring it
letter
by.
in, and your contact information, so we can
Okay.
get a hold of you.
I will do that.
And we appreciate it, we look into this, we certainly would like to have you do this.
Great, thank you guys. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
You can just email that to Jane West, you don't have to come in with that if you don't want to.
Oh, I can just bring it in, it's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna
Thanks.
probably wanna look at your book again anyway, so,
Okay.
Okay.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good news for them,
Yeah.
I almost talked about that for,
Well, I've been talking about that for years, finding somebody to put those stones back in there and straighten them out.
Yes, but see, nobody seems to have a idea who
Yeah,
owns some of those
can't believe this
cemeteries.
guy's doing this
According to the
for
state register, we have to have the owner, and that has to be abandoned. Well, you and I got it.
It's a
Yeah,
historical
and that's
book.
Do you know his last
basically what
name?
it says, that
Yeah,
it
we
has
can
to be
find out.
legally
We can
abandoned,
find out.
legally deeded to the town.
Right?
And the other part of the law says
Yeah, wait.
abandoned cemeteries
Okay.
are the responsibility
Is it
of the
the
town.
town? Yeah.
So,
Is he a
I
veteran?
mean, it's a
I'm
catch
not
story
sure.
too.
yeah.
okay.
Of course.
Where are we? Yeah, where are we?
We passed the,
We did Jackie Maple Hill.
legal services,
Yeah, we did, that's been approved. Okay, here, just for record only, I got a letter today with some pictures of property that needs to be restored on the corner of Route 9 and 11. These pictures were sent in, I just wanted on public record that we did talk to the contractor, and they know that we want this done as soon as possible. It's not just a matter of raking it down, it's a matter of replacing topsoil and seeding it down. It's very visible on that corner. People have to sit there and wait sometimes to get through the red light or something. They look at a bank, so to speak, it's not big property to take care of. It's been waited too long. So that's strictly for information.
That's documented in the minutes from today's meeting.
Pardon?
It was discussed
This
with the
is-
contractor in the progress meeting. Yes.
Okay, so it's documented in the minutes.
Yes, so I just wanted in the town board minutes that we did speak to the contractor.
My concern is that we're gonna end up hiring somebody to go back around and do this. And
Well,
and where are we gonna get the money? Is there money in there to,
come out of the funds that we don't pay Casell.
right, that's what I'm saying. Is there enough holdback funds
There is.
to go around and do this the correct way?
But Ed tells me he will not sign off. Am I correct, guys? He will not sign off on this restoration unless he's,
He has to sign off for those people to get paid, and Cassell made the statement today, well, that's all signed off on. And Eddie made the statement today, is I haven't signed off on anything. This is
on
exact
restoration.
words.
I'm talking about, not
Restoration.
okay.
On the rest of it.
Okay.
He has, that says he hasn't signed off on anything, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
That's
Let's
exactly
get the
what he
water
said
in the
today.
pipes, get the plant running, so we basically have the mechanics done, and then we can play hardball with them.
Right, that's my point,
Right.
because what they're doing with this hydroseeding over clay,
Wow,
that it's just gonna wash right off,
They said that wasn't permanent.
well, why would you do it?
Make it look
Aesthetics.
nice.
So they can get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fast way of getting out, looks green, looks nice, I'm gone.
This past week, I've
Those
got,
guys are really good at pushing clay around, that's for
Well,
sure.
I don't know where to get that garbage.
I got 4 or 5 complaints. I don't list them. I shared with them today.
I was asking if Anthony's taking pictures of each one of these places where they just sprayed hydro seed on top of the clay, so that you can watch it wash away and then take a picture again and say, this was your choice.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, you were here today with the mayor of the village of Champlain. point to Anthony and his right-hand man Corey, you guys got him up here and stay for a couple of seas what is going on up here.
Right.
And he was pretty damn insistent about it. Because them guys were supposed to be here for the whole project, you know, that guy was supposed to move here from Plattsburgh, which I had forgotten about when Greg brought it up today. You guys were
Which
supposed
one?
to, you know,
I didn't know that, I just knew that there was.
Well, they were supposed to be
remember
on-
when we
on
first
site.
talked about it, he said he was gonna move up here
Oh,
to
yeah.
Plattsburgh and stay?
Yeah.
Well, Greg was pretty well wound up today, and he made certain points, and I applaud Greg. Live on Greg, he doesn't have his mouth in his pocket, and I think he did a great job.
Well, Ed did a good job today too.
Yes, he did, but I'll tell you when that Cassell guy there, he's just pathetic. That's all I can say. It's pathetic.
I think the other guy was more reasonable. When he recommended something to us.
This is all gonna be about leverage. That's the only way this is gonna get
Yeah.
done.
What do you think if they go?
I'm comfortable
if
with.
they- If they go
not
past the
being
due
there, you
date, and they get into that bond deal, that changes the whole ball, everything.
guys- Yeah, because also some of the fire hydrants have had their extensions promised.
We spent a lot of time on that today.
Extensively.
Okay, and how they decided where to put them and where not to, there's
Well,
no.
Eddie said he had a list, and the other guy said we've already done them. Eddie said you haven't done any of them. And that's- they had a real contest there today. It was
Oh,
really.
that's good.
That was good. Clear things out a little bit. Okay. You ready for the round now?
We'll burn your car.
Just don't ask who was in the office.
Elm Street and South Storage.
Oh, yeah. Alan, I think we have the same ones. Jane printed them off too, the ones you had printed off this evening.
Oh, she had them?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. They were on the table here this evening. Let's go with the salt shed first, okay? Second one. Corey told me today, he's got maybe a week, 10 days. Did he tell you anything about that? Alan?
Yeah, told me that.
Okay.
At the end of June.
Alan, you want to explain about the electrical component that you...
Well, last week when I met them guys on Elm Street, they were talking about a salt shed, and I asked them, I want to put electricity in there. Since it's a government grant, you know how it is, you can't just have anybody just go do that. And all I want is a couple lights and a couple outlets. You want to plug a loader out there, lights on the outside, I'm thinking one inside, one or two inside. It's not a big deal. But to get electricity in there, I gotta break the ledge from that green building, about 30 feet of it. Put it in conduit and bring it up. You know, do it, and we'll do it the right way. I mean, a lot of water out there. And, you know. So I asked these guys if the contractor would be interested in doing it. While they're right there, before they put the walls on, snake the conduit underneath, there would be time to do it. Well, we could help them, those guys can help them out, it's not a big deal. But since you need somebody certified electrician. So he said, well, look into it. Well, then he sent me this, they want $1,500. You know, to draw up a design and everything else. I mean, I can draw
$1,500 is the draw for design?
That's just about it.
For a straight line trench
Yeah.
with conduit with the straight also,
Yeah.
it comes up like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, we could do that too. I was more interested in getting the outfit that's gonna put up the building
Okay.
to run the conduit, you know? They got the
Can you
tools.
directly talk to the outfit that's doing it? Or do you have to go through
They
$1,500?
probably would have something to break rock.
Me, it's, the biggest thing is to break the ledge. You know, if that outfit's got something to saw the ledge, break it. I got 30 feet of it, and I know it's pretty tough, because we broke it from the building here all the way to the back. About 800 feet. We did that one winter. And it
How
was
far of a span is it between the two buildings?
About 30 feet.
You want to try to put it in the air?
Well, that's another thing, that was another option I looked at too. But I was thinking,
I know it'd be better if it was in the ground.
you know, I got this big outfit, the guy could come here if they had a saw and everything, just saw the ledge. We could help them, it's not a big deal. Just,
You're talking about a big saw or something you rent from Taylor's?
I don't know if I could rent that. They had one here, Cassell had one here sawn ledge. My brothers had one a few years ago, they sawed underneath the underpass.
Luck Brothers is working, doing that plant down there for us right now. I wonder if they'd have that saw on site.
It'd be the thing, all I did was mention it to these guys. And I didn't know that they were gonna draw up a plan, that got $1,500 to design, and put electricity in there. That was over and above what I asked for.
I'd say thanks, but no thanks.
No, now right there, I can design you that on paper what I want, just need somebody to put
Well, I
it in.
know, you know,
Yeah,
our people here.
To be part of the project, the state would require a license.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, that's what I'm getting at, a certified electrician, but as far as the physical work,
Yeah, but if it's gonna be part of the project, they're gonna want a licensed engineer.
I know, we can have a licensed engineer where afterwards.
Just
We
consider
can cut the
waiting
trench
until
ourselves.
after it's up and then.
yeah, what I was thinking is that they put these walls up,
Right.
and you know, you gotta go underneath.
Oh, yeah.
Before I put the tarmac in, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Have all the conduit right there, then when we put the floor, everything will be sealed. But you're gonna have to come up with conduit on the side of the wall, put a panel box in there, or,
Yeah, sub panel.
you
Well,
know.
we either gotta go forward with it, or,
Well, I didn't know it was gonna run this amount of money here, that, I didn't know it was gonna go this far.
We couldn't wait till it's done and just rent a saw and cut a groove out there and put some conduit in there. Have a licensed
Oh, what I'm
electrician.
getting at is before they put the walls up, if we could run our conduit.
Well, if you have to run it up the outside and go in the building like that, it's not that big a deal.
Oh, we can do it, it's just that you're gonna have
Well,
to get a
if you're gonna pay
certified
$1,500
electrician to hook it up.
The state's gonna want you to get somebody in for another $3,500 to put the light bulbs, screw the light bulbs in.
All I did is mention that to these guys. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know they were gonna go overboard with this. I mean, we can table this is not so big.
Yeah, I think you should table that one.
Table that one.
I'd still like to find out.
I will
The
call
state
in the
may
morning.
make us do it, something like this.
It's not in the original plan, so.
Well, that's just it, we never put it in the plan, electrical.
You know, the
All I
state-
did is ask these guys if they would ask the contractor, whoever's gonna put the building, Casanova, if they'd be interested in putting electricity in.
Alan, you wanna address the other one?
Okay, the other one's on Elm Street. We had problems there this year with flooding. And Al Rasco and his man, we went inside that pipe, it's 5 foot now. We took a walk inside there one day with flashlights. That pipe's gonna need to be repaired sooner or later. Don't have to be this year, but next year it's something to look at. But Army Corps of Engineer would advise me, before I do anything, before I even put a spade shovel there, I need a plan to tell them what I'm exactly gonna do with it. I'm either gonna line it, I still gotta have a plan, or if I'm gonna dig it out. You gotta have a plan. Because it's wetland on both sides of that. And if I line it, I'm raising the height of the water. You know, I'm going from a 5 foot culvert to a 4 foot. So you're redesigning the water, so they want a plan how this is gonna work. So I asked the guys in Bernier and Carson, if they were here, see if they can draw me up a plan. But then there's another thing, and then they want $5,000 to do that.
You know, how Rascal say he'd have that engineer that was working for the town, or his town down there, draw that up.
Now Rascal don't wanna do it.
Yeah, but he said the other guy who was with him said he'd draw up a plan for us, so.
Well, that guy today was at the bike path, and he said he didn't want to touch that.
Okay.
And I talked to John Connell from Army Corps of Engineers. Sometimes you can catch him, he's in a good mood, apparently I did. And he told me the same thing. He said, give me a plan before you can put a big shovel. You either do it this year, next year, tell me how you're gonna do it. The span of how long you're gonna be doing this.
Well, you don't think, Al, we should talk about doing both of those. We had 2 of those on the agenda. The smallest grant they'll give us is over 300,000. If we put we got 2 that need doing, if we put them together, it would amount to $300,000 and we can
It'll
apply
cost
for
us
a grant.
$5,000 or more to find that out.
But I got one thing, that little guy with Bernie and Carr, was he here today?
Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was supposed to look in for me. If the project goes over 100,000, he thinks that the state comes in and pays part of that.
I thought we checked into that one.
Al Rascal was the one who told us 300,000, but this little guy claims that anything over 100,000, that they'll come in.
Is this Corey?
Yeah.
If that is
Last
27
time I
down,
spoke to him
100,000.
last Friday, or the Friday before, and that's the first thing he told me. He said, if it goes over 100,000, the state, there is help for that.
Well, I'll tell you what.
We can table this one too, this is
Well,
not a
I'll
big
tell you
deal,
what,
we don't have to do this right
Al,
now.
let's you and I give Corey a call and ask him if that's so, where do we look and how do we do it? Like, the more help we get, the better off we are here.
Is that something to the company that lines the culvert might have an idea, a plan that they could make that would be acceptable to Army Corps?
There's only about 3 or 4 companies in the United States that will do that.
But you're still looking at it, right?
Yeah. And the lining,
Well, I mean, maybe they have something acceptable.
that's expensive too, that's not.
Oh, yeah, I know, it's no matter what you do, because you'd have to close Elm Street down for.
Well, if we line it, we won't.
Yeah, if you don't, but I mean, if you go an alternative, then you're gonna have to look at closing that down.
You're involving wetlands and everything else, and, you know, it's the time that the water's gotta be a certain height, you can't have, you know, rush of water doing this.
And if you dig it out, what do you do with the old culvert? Is that metal?
Yeah. It's in tough shape.
Well, it's gotta be. Any idea when it was put in?
In the 40s,
Yeah.
40, 41.
I couldn't have it.
Yeah,
Well, we can still line it, it's still good enough to line, but how much is it gonna cost to line it versus to dig it out? That's the thing.
So this quote, does that include a design for both options?
Yeah.
Lining it or?
That meant-
lining
If we
it or-
decide we wanna line it, they'll make us a plan for lining it, and they'll find us quotes to line it compared to what it is to dig it out.
Okay.
It's, I guess, one of the issues with digging it, it's quite deep.
It's 28 feet. From the-
28 feet deep?
From the top to the bottom of the culvert, it's 28 feet.
We have no way of doing that.
And we can't do that.
No, you don't understand, when you do that, that thing would have to be like 60 feet wide, 60, 70 feet wide, because you gotta work down there in stages.
You'd have to close the road for a month,
He
2
told
months.
us, that Al, he told us that day how it had to be done, and it was really a pretty
Don't
complex.
forget, you still got water going through there, so when you're digging that, you gotta make sure that water's dammed, or we're gonna have eyeballs on it.
Even in a dry year, does it, the water's still pretty much?
Yeah, the water runs there pretty much year round. Last year it went dry last summer, there's when he put that pipe through, because the water was dried up. But
Okay. On table, we'll vote on
Yeah, I think the plan though is to figure out how we would pay for a study to show what it's actually gonna cost.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And then we'll have it to try to figure out where we can get funding from to get it done.
well, these guys would help us with find the funding for us, that's another nice thing, you know.
Well, the only thing is, our budget is kind of set in
You couldn't,
stone.
I don't think we could afford that
And
this
we
year,
didn't
we
put
can't do that.
anything in there for anything like that.
But the study part of it, is that a legitimate expense out of the highway funds?
Well, I'd have to take it out of my highway fund.
Right, I'm just saying it, would it be able to do that, or would it have to go under engineering? We need to check with Jane on that.
it. Well, it's still highway either way, though. I mean,
That's what I wanna hear, because my hope is that you'd have money where you could
Yeah,
come out of your budget, at least to get that portion done.
you think you got $5,000 in your budget
well,
somewhere?
I'm sure we could squeeze it somewhere.
Well, the only thing is you guys know we're gonna have the salt shed put up. When that gets done, Alan's gonna, you won't believe the little things that we forgot about. He's gonna need some extra money, because he's gonna have all kinds of little things that he's gonna wanna do. But, we didn't put in anything in there for the petition, that we'd like to put our salt area in there, and there's a few little things. And we don't wanna pinch his budget too bad.
I don't know, this is pretty important though, to have, at least have a plan. That's my.
You gotta have a plan, that's the definite thing. One way or another, if we table it tonight, well, it's not gonna hurt anything, but down the road, we did that, that's gonna have to be done that underneath there.
Mhm.
I don't wanna wait till we start getting holes in the road and people complaining.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's check and see if it's under your engineering or highway, and I'm sure we can work out something. I know we can stretch things here. Our rubber band's a little thin, but nevertheless, this is pretty necessary.
Yeah. So they don't have anything about finding funding sources.
That always boils down to money.
Well, I don't think there's too many sources, but you've got chip money. There's ways around that chip money, you know, if it is 100,000,
Yeah.
and if we could, if it is 300,000, I got another project that we can make the 300,000 come out.
Yep. We got more than one problem here in the town.
At least Alan's looking into it, that's, that's half the battle.
Okay. You want to put it off a month?
I think so, I think we
Yeah.
need to see where it's gonna come out of the
No
budget.
action will be taken tonight because
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
That's fine.
let's make a motion, we'll table it till the next meeting, until we investigate in to see if it would be an engineering thing or a highway thing, or where we actually stand.
okay,
See where the
There's
funds are gonna come
funding,
from.
yeah, I mean, there's
There's
grants
funding
or
available.
funding available.
There's no problem.
okay. Anything else on highway, Alan, and updates on anything?
No, the only thing, I started the bike path today. We got 2,200 feet to do. So I started it, we did, coming along pretty good.
Yeah. Some heavy
Dry enough.
stone, that you're using, that's good.
Well, it's heavy stone, don't forget, there's quite a drop off there, it's
Yeah.
almost 2 feet.
Yeah.
A couple weeks work there?
Oh, I don't think so. The speed we were going today, I think we can knock that out in 4 or 5 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I get a chance, I'll take a
if
look at it.
everything goes right.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything before we pay the bills? You have your post audit bills, and we need to approve the monthly bills. Just review them quickly, if you would, please. Any questions on any of the bills?
Well, what's Atlantic Detroit diesel?
Service and generators.
That's the generators, every year we had signed a contract with them to service the generators. It's
Okay.
$2,500 a year. The Atlantic testing that you see on the thing there, that's the landfill thing, I'm pretty sure there. It does the, comes in and does the samples. 3,300? No, that's the one that she's got over there, sorry, that's over there.
Did you ever get a hold of NICEAG, Julie?
No, we didn't call NICEAG, we just talked to that lady from Progressive. We're gonna call NICEAG tomorrow.
You know, the wing and the plow, what was that for, Alan? Was that the truck that had the incident?
Yeah.
Okay,
We got paid for that.
okay. Through insurance?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we approve the bills as written.
thank you. I have a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions, any of the bills? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried? Julie, what you got?
Water District number 6 disbursement approval number 35. Atlantic testing for $3,330. Bernier car for $41,999.11. Doe Electric for $54,860.79. Luck Brothers, $220,106.39. LH La Plante, $7,125. Casell, $141,157.44.
You have a total? Okay, that's okay. These are the bills pertaining to the water project, have been approved, or recommended to be approved by our engineers. Are there any questions, any of them? We were told today
And
that,
that money that wasn't paid, according to Charlie Boy there, that was for the diometers
Right,
He says he's not gonna pay him, there was a big argument, they were in the house there
He
today.
told Steve all about it.
yeah, he tried telling me all about it.
He tried telling you, right, thank you, Steve, he tried telling you all about it.
Anyways, these bills here, I need a roll call vote. Did we get a motion?
No,
No, we need a motion to approve first.
What number is that one? I know there was a number on that.
35.
35.
I make a motion to approve bill number 35 for the water project.
Second.
It did sound like the water plant itself is on schedule.
Yep, those boys are on, well, that's Look Brothers, that's working with a different outfit, I'll tell you that.
Another motion to second then?
Yes.
Any questions? We'll have a roll call vote on this kind of money.
Yes, sir.
John?
Aye.
Grant?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
And I for myself, all five of us. Is there anything else, Julie?
No?
Anything else? Does anybody else have anything other than, I do need an executive session? Let's cover a union contract. 8 o'clock, going into executive session. Could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion that we go into executive session.
For the purpose of
Yes, for
I'll second that.
contractual,
That's for union negotiations.
yeah, contractual, that's why you gotta put. Did I have a motion and a second? Did I?
Yes.
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 All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I'll let you know in the morning when we're done.
Thanks, Julie.
I won't be in until noon. I got the county supervisors meeting in the morning.
Calvin, come on.
That's what
I got that part. I hope you're
Brian,
ready.
can you take some notes for me?
Yeah,
I need a
sure.
motion to get out of the executive session, close the executive session.
I so move.
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now I need a motion to adjourn the public meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. I have a second? Thank you. At 8:55?
55, yeah.
Will you make sure Julie gets that, Brian?
Mhm.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So we're out of executive session. Everybody voted in favor of closing the public meeting. Thank you, Steve, for your input,
No problem.
as always.
You can have your car, it'll be the 1st of July.
Okay, just curious.
Oh, no, they had a nice winter, it was nice and warm, it was nice and warm.
I feel bad that it's.
It's just a little one, early on, and I can't find it now.
Oh, okay.